Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Gridiron Glory here with Tad and Will talking about all 32 NFL teams. Today we have a Week 6 recap featuring the Indianapolis Colts and their 20-17 division victory on the road against the Tennessee Titans. A very big win for the Colts to get back to 3-3 in a competitive AFC playoff race. The Colts, they had to go with Joe Flacco at quarterback for the second week in a row. And Joe Flacco went out there and did what you'd expect Joe Flacco to do. He had an efficient game. He had the 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, only 189 yards. So not as many big plays as we saw the previous week. But still, he made the plays that you would expect a veteran quarterback like Joe Flacco to make, an elite veteran quarterback like Joe Flacco, I should say. You got a good connection between Flacco and Josh Downs, his receiver, 7 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown. And also a big touchdown catch by Michael Pittman Jr., who's had some moments this year where he's looked like a good receiver and some moments where he's struggled. What's your take on the season Michael Pittman Jr. is having so far?
When I think of a guy like Michael Pittman Jr., definitely living up to the hype of his dad, who also played in the NFL. He's definitely living up to the name, living up to the namesake. Let's see here, the 4th-year player out of USC. And you look at the stats, they speak for themselves. 25 catches, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm going to be honest. I kind of thought he would have like a flashier season.
Yeah.
In all honesty. But still, nonetheless, receivers go through periods like this. And it hasn't been completely his fault, but nonetheless, he has a guy like Joe Flacco thrown to him, the last couple of games. So he, let's see, 3 catches, 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So
a big touchdown.
It was a big touchdown. But, when we were really hyping Michael Pittman Jr. up in the preseason when we studied the Colts. And definitely not living up to our preseason studies of him.
For sure. And some of that's on Michael Pittman. Some of that's on the fact that the Colts offense behind Anthony Richardson before his injury wasn't quite as well at passing the ball as we would have hoped for him. So that's a factor too. But yeah, I think Michael Pittman's a guy that they're going to want to see get more involved even when Richardson comes back. So that's an interesting situation there. They had to manage the run game once again without their star running back, Jonathan Taylor. So you lean on Trey Sermon. He gets the 18 carries, not very effective, just 29 yards. Tyler Goodson, 8 carries for 51 yards. So a bit more of a spark there for the running back out of Iowa. He also had 4 catches for 14 yards there. Solid showing there. Looking at the Colts defense, Zaire Franklin had a big game with his 9 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. And then you have Julian Blackmon with the big interception. So a solid showing there by the Colts to come back and beat their division rival.
Yeah, and obviously, we know that the Tennessee Titans are very much a rebuilding team. That was definitely the synopsis in the storyline when we studied them in the preseason. 0-3 at home. Very sad there, to be honest with you. And Will Levis, if we're talking about the Titans' perspective of things going so far for them in the season, Will Levis, 16 of 27, 95 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Tony Pollard, probably their best offensive player, really. D-Hop, D-Hop, he's kind of fallen off a little bit. I mean, yeah, you probably figure that their best offensive player is probably Tony Pollard, just in my opinion. But
Yeah.
93 yards there for him. Tyjae Spears. Their defense, their defense is pretty okay. You got Harold Landry. He had 2 tackles for loss, and a couple of hits on the quarterback. There was no sacks in this game for the Tennessee defense. You might have liked to have seen maybe a sack or two. Yeah, just I don't really know what to take so far of this Tennessee Titans team, other than just I don't know. They're definitely in the bottom tier of the AFC. I don't know if it's like,
Yeah.
at this point, they're pretty neck and neck with the Patriots
And the Browns.
So yeah, that's just it's an unfortunate thing out there for Titans fans.
Yeah,
You
the
guys
Titans.
you guys might be in it. You guys might be in it for the long haul.
Yeah, it's definitely been a struggle for Tennessee. Will Levis not even hitting 100 yards despite no sacks. His offensive line, they did their best. They kept him clean the entire game, and he still wasn't having the game and the season that we're hoping for. It's been an unfortunate season for Levis, and it's definitely going to cause the Titans to ask some questions about what they're going to do next at that position.
Yeah. So Joe Flacco, you really like what you're seeing from him, so he was able to go down here and lead his team to a great victory. The Colts roll, and Titans, it's a brutal stretch for them so far. So
Sure. And looking at the Colts next week, they will be playing host to the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
A battle between 3 AFC teams. That could be a big game. And Tennessee, tough one next week. They'll be at Buffalo, so we'll see how that goes for them. Could be a challenge. Thank you for following the Gridiron Glory. Please like and subscribe to follow along with our NFL content throughout the season.